Hi, I'm Kenneth Sampson, and you are currently watching a video from the MII Senior Expo Take a Strand. We had the opportunity and privilege of inviting speakers to speak on their field of expertise and to educate us on their profession and how we can relate it to our strands and also to our daily lives, as well as to assist students if a career, field, or strand is right for them. Now, without further ado, we hope that you learn from the video.
Good afternoon, students. My name is Leon Baldivia. I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you all the first MI Online Expo Take a Strand. I will be your student speaker for today, and it is my pleasure to welcome also my co-speaker, Julia Mitra. Julia and I will be representing the General Academic Strand, or it is known as GAS, by speaking on organization and management and principles of marketing as well.
So to get started, we'll start with OM, or Organization and Management. It is a subdiscipline of applied behavioral analysis, and it applies behavioral analytic principles and contingency management techniques in order to change the behavior in certain organizations. So basically, it's the process of getting people together in a common platform and having them collaborate with one another to accomplish a certain goal.
For principles of marketing, it is known to be considered the agreed upon of different marketing ideas, concept that certain companies utilize for an effective marketing strategy. In correlation with that, they are the vital principles upon which we further build product promotion strategies. Different companies or brands could use certain marketing principles for the effective promotion of different goods and services as well. It is basically the overall action or business of promoting and selling different products or services that includes proper market research and advertising through several strategies. It is also considered the act of creating demand or desire of a certain product.
So, how can OM be beneficial in your career or future course? So, in organization management, it teaches us the logistical aspect of running an organization. So, the roles of management, allocation of resources, staffing processes, and how to evaluate performances. And you need all of these if you want to run your own business or if you're just going to run a team, which you'll be doing in a lot of other careers. More specifically, the different charts, tools, and techniques you learn in OM are very helpful for the future endeavors.
Okay. For in terms of principles of marketing, lessons from PM would not only be helpful in courses and careers in marketing, but also in product design or entrepreneurial ventures. I mean, it's not just about making posters. We also learn about market research, product design, pricing strategy, and distribution channels. These are the very basics of marketing that would be very helpful in many businesses or courses or even careers.
So let's get started with the key principles of OM. For most of OM, you'll be learning about the functions of management, which is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. In this subject, you're gonna be going in depth in all five of these, but for now, we'll just give a brief description. So in planning, it's the determination of what is to be done, how and when it is to be done, who is to do it, and how should the overall results be evaluated. So it's basically picking a goal, defining your objectives, and then planning out the strategies, actions, and resources that you need to accomplish those goals. Organizing is arranging and allocating work, authority, and resources. It's figuring out the departments you need and like what specific things they'd be doing. For staffing, you're gonna be putting people in these departments. So it's recruiting, selecting, and training employees. And then directing is the process of motivation, leadership, and communication. This is where you're gonna guide the employees to make sure that everyone plays a role in accomplishing the goals of the company. And then lastly is controlling, which is basically evaluating the performance of the company to figure out what they can do better and how they can proceed later on. So now that we're done with this part, let's go into the fun part, which is the principles of PM.
Okay. So, as what in correlation with what Julia said, there's also key principles of PM. But the first one would be marketing should be about your clients and customers and not about you. To further elaborate, it just basically informs that the brand or the company that it's basically less I and more on you. The certain language should be from the perspectives of the consumers or clients. Unconsciously, this type of concept helps reduce the feeling that the company or brand is just bragging in general. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. The second one is figure out what individuals want and need and give it to them. This one, it just explains how it gives an opportunity to the sellers to spend some time to get to know their clients and customers, or even the concept that informs the sellers or company to not just push their product, but rather push what the customer wants instead. This certain idea reminds the seller to always remember that they are not just the profit, but they're always the providers as well. Okay. So the third one is always market something new. This type of concept focuses more on the psychological aspect of marketing, wherein it illustrates that the individuals tend to gravitate the idea of newer is better. It helps explain how customers or people in general prefer to be trendsetters rather than trend followers. The overall idea of this principle illustrates the power of the phrase brand new. Okay, let's go to the fourth one. Okay. The fourth one is be a lot more different, not just a little different. This certain idea helps elaborate to the sellers that their customers in general, I could say, are not really attracted to minor or slight improvements, but rather big improvements. It helps this shape the company's objectives and how it is essential and quite beneficial if there is going to be a drastic change with their certain product for their customers to even notice. For the fifth one, individuals will want something more if they tend to worry they might not be able to get it. This type of concept, if you guys would know, especially in this generation, it correlates to the idea of FOMO, the fear of missing out. So it helps highlight the power of phrases like limited or one night only, exclusive, and so much more. I mean, for me personally, it's like whenever there's a tagline like that, it makes you just want to buy it even more. So I'm glad that they were able to even tackle that type of mentality. Okay, let's go to the next one. So an example would be is like Twister fries. You guys know how like a lot of people, obviously, it's common knowledge that everyone likes Twister fries, right? But it's also known that it's only in a certain time period. So whenever they release it, and then obviously we know that it's not going to be there forever. It's only for a certain time. People tend to buy it even more, and the sales of Twister fries and McDonald's would increase because after the long wait in general. So yeah. Julia, could you discuss the sixth one?
So the sixth one is if you tend to charge more, some individuals will want it even more. So basically, sometimes if there's a lower price, it's associated with lower quality. But if it's a higher price, then it can indicate a higher quality. So examples would be high-end products like Supreme, where it's very basic, but like, everyone wants it because it seems good. Yeah. So seven, individuals will buy more if you give them a choice. So it's said that 90% of the time, individuals tend to choose the safe option or instead of not buying anything at all. So the best example would be Potato Corner. So they have a bunch of options, but if you're like new to Potato Corner, you're like, oh, I don't know what to get. What do I do? And then most people go for the middle option, which is Mega.
Yeah. I mean, to follow or to add on to what Julia's saying, because usually people are like saying, I don't think I could buy a terror because it's too big or too fattening. And then they can't say, I don't want to buy a jumbo or a regular, it's too small. So you go to like the safe option, which is mega. So I think the seventh principle just focuses, I think you should expand your options to have one safe option where you could say, I'll just buy that one instead. So it's just pretty interesting for me, actually.
Yeah. So teach and coach first, then sell. I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but if you show your consumers how it's used, how your product is used, then they'd be more inclined to buy it. So examples of this would be like the cool blenders. Yeah. 9 is communicate one simple message over and over again. So this helps. It has value in terms of memory retention. So examples would be BDO, we find ways. The Shopee, 11/11, big sale. Love ko to. So these messages, they repeat it over and over again, and it gets stuck in people's heads. So then people are more inclined to like, hey, I know that. Yeah. Okay. Second to the last is individuals tend to buy based on emotions, not on rational thought. This is because sometimes strong emotions resonate more than logic does. So examples would be the Jollibee commercials, like the very intense,
Dramatic,
happy, maybe sad,
sad.
makes people want it more or become more interested in it.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly is individuals will buy more when they're having fun. I think this is also pretty self-explanatory, but showing um, fun environments can lead to positive feelings, and this will help with the brand messaging. So examples would be Coke. Coca-Cola in most of their commercials and other marketing materials, they're always like, "Oh, your friends, family, they'll have fun if they have a Coca-Cola." So that's the type of vibe they give off. That's why Coca-Cola is always associated with like parties.
Yes. Group of friends usually.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Next.
So promotional activities. So before we get into this, I just want to say that in the 11 tips that we just mentioned, these were actually very helpful for us when we were doing other our promotional activities, which we will be explaining later on. But let's talk about the promotional activities. So there's six of them: building awareness, generating interest, providing information, stimulate demand, differentiate demand, and reinforce brand. Okay. So building awareness is creating the brand identity for new companies, brands, products, and for overall rebranding. And then generating interest is when the customer is already aware of the product, but they're not interested in it yet. So the product makes them, or the marketing makes them want that specific product as if it's a need that is unfulfilled for them. And then providing information is providing necessary information, benefits, features of the product. So we use all three of these in our MII's productions for the plays, the marketing. So we tried as much as possible. We wanted to incorporate all of what we learned during our principles of marketing class when promoting all of your plays, well, the grade 11 and the grade 12 plays. So in these are some examples of the generating, oh no, the building awareness
Yes.
promotional activities. So we did videos talking about MI. We did posters as well. We did the DP blast, and then we did this fun little story post. And then the generating interest would be the posters, the teasers. Some of them even did mini teasers on the stories and other story posts. Um, the cast introductions also count as generating interest. And then we also had the premiere post, which is the providing information. We also had different announcement posts, which also count as providing information. So as much as possible, we really wanted to apply what we learned into our promotional activities because it's actually really helpful. So to
Very
further talk
useful.
about, yeah, to further talk about this, Leon.
Okay. So the fourth one is stimulate demand. This specific promotional activity is known to be used for companies that may seek enhancing in general in terms of sales through promotion. It has been said that in situations wherein the sales are lower than usual, the company must aim for re-engagement with their old customers and to further encourage new ones to try or purchase the product itself. In other circumstances, the overall aim of this concept is to further increase sales at certain times of the year, preferably near a major holiday, because whenever your sales are going down, they have to target a near holiday because obviously that's where the sales are, and that's where the consumers enter the market even more because they're intrigued with the sale concept. So they would obviously buy the product. So that's the overall concept of stimulate demand.
It's like SM department stores and their
Yes.
holiday sales. It's
Yes.
of the yeah.
Okay. Next is differentiate brand. It's actually pretty self-explanatory if you come to think of it, but to further elaborate, it's just more on known to be used in situations wherein there are numerous competitors within the market. In correlation with that, it is basically applied in times where a company may seek to use different promotional activities to help further differentiate its product within the market and somewhat make it stand out compared to its competing brands. The main focal point of this concept is to show the product's features, benefits, and even its functionalities So the product may not be offered or offered well by the competitor in general. So this concept is applied when you want to make it stand out compared to its competing brands, like I've mentioned. So yeah. So the last one, oh, we actually have an example. We do. So obviously we know that Pepsi and Coke are like main competitors, but I could honestly say Coke is more famous because in terms of its marketing, I honestly think if you go back to our 11 principles of marketing, they were able to apply some of that. Like what Julia mentioned, she pointed out they would promote it as fun times, not really connected to the product itself, but they would make it correlate or somewhat related to friends having a fun time. So there's this one time an advertisement where Pepsi released "We Wish You a Scary Halloween," and Coca-Cola just went back up and roasted them even more when they said everyone wants to be a hero. So it's really more in the marketing side. So like they were able to put the behavior aspects of marketing into their promotional activity, which is obviously common knowledge that Coca-Cola is the number one soda brand. So it really does work. It's really very
Yeah.
interesting, actually.
It does.
Okay, the last one is reinforce brand. This activity is done to further strengthen the brand and the relationship between the brand and its consumers. Its loyal consumer uses memberships or warranties to keep that old customers. But I think we have an example, Julia, do we?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll just go
Wait,
to the next
there we
slide.
go.
Okay, Bello. Usually, reinforced brand, it really it connects to the idea of how people would suggest it to their friends or something. Example, if you go to Bello, a dermatologist, obviously you can't just enter a random one. You would have to know if it's actually reliable, if it's actually it actually works. So people would suggest Bello or even simple like barbers or like haircuts or hair salons, right, Julia? When they're like, oh, I know a place that I think that you would like. So like obviously that's reinforced brands how the current and old customers are also promoting the brand to its friends or family. So that's the type of loyal relationship it builds in that concept.
To further elaborate on that, um, reinforced brand, it also makes people want to stay. Like it
Yes.
gets loyal customers, so they do this by like memberships or warranties, like we
Yes.
said earlier. But also, Bella does like the apps, and they all have like the point reward thing. So that's
Yes.
also a way to get um, loyal
Get them to
customers. That's what
stay.
reinforced brand does.
Yeah. Okay, for the applying gas lessons, I know that after everything we've taught you, it could have been a little bit boring, but believe me, Julia and I actually were talking about it just yesterday, how we consider the lessons super useful and very interesting. I was having a hard time on choosing what strand I wanted to choose. So the school suggested gas because it's more of the general academic strand, and then it focuses on different fields. So you get to expand your options on which field you really want to pursue in. But so far, I chose marketing because they were able to teach it very well. They were able to give examples and the numerous projects that is super fun for you guys to do. Trust me, in terms of like people who aspire to be businessmen, you have to really study more in the behavioral or the marketing behavior side of it to make it enhance it to make it a better business in general. So in terms of applying these gas lessons, the general academic strand offers students lessons to take home with them and decide what career path to take in the future. With these lessons in hand, they can apply it what they have learned to succeed in pursuing their desired career. Okay, let's go to the next one. So specifically in organization and management, it basically teaches the overall perspective and insight of how an organization starts out. OM can help those aspire to create a business from scratch as well as understand its hidden psychology. The subject analyzes, comprehends, and explains what it takes to be a good business leader. So the
Wait,
last
further elaborate
we
on
go.
the OM. Honestly, OM seems really boring at first, but then the more you have to plan stuff and the more you like go through life, I guess it's actually really helpful. Like even when we were planning this whole expo, we used a bunch of the concepts we learned in OM here, so it's surprisingly helpful.
Yeah, it focuses on delegation because it
Mhm.
focuses on delegating tasks. Literally, from the word itself, it really helps you become organized, which you don't have to always use this concept for business specifically, but literally in your everyday life on how to organize or how to even like time manage. It teaches all that. Trust me, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, for principles of marketing, which I consider the super fun one, it's essential for those who want to market their pitch effectively and efficiently. This specific topic offers the tools a student needs for them to start up their own campaign, enterprise, business, and even encourage creative and innovative thinking as well.
PM is fun. That's all I have to say. So the main takeaway, all of these lessons in general academic strand is to think outside of the box and to go beyond. This strand, um, this strand will test what is known about marketing, management, and related subjects. It is not only about descriptions and definitions, but it is also about analysis and deconstruction of content.
Yes.
It's fun, I swear.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you. It really does mean a lot for Julia and I that you guys would actually consider listening to our talk. I know it's kind of very informative, but if you get to in depth and if you decide to choose on gas lessons at the end, especially for aspiring grade 9 and students and for grade 11, for sure you guys could agree with me that gas is also somewhat fun. Even though it's quite challenging or difficult, but if you think of it in a bigger picture, it actually you will learn so much about it that is considered beneficial to me up to this day. It will be very beneficial for you in your future course because let's admit it, marketing will always be there, especially in this generation where there's businesses opening up, online businesses. You would need these things to help promote your products or the services that you plan to share to the world in the future. So it's quite beneficial. So thank you guys for making an effort to come here and listen to Julia and I. We would want to open a Q&A portion. We would like to ask you guys if you guys have any questions about the subject, the topic, or what are the challenges that we get to experience in gas, or what are the fun things that we get to experience in gas. You can ask any of those. You could put it on the chat box, or you can actually just go to our email. Julia was able to present our emails a while ago if you don't want to really unmute your mic, but you could also type it in the chat box.
Yeah. Please ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions.
Yeah.
Let's make it interesting.
We can tell you about gas life, maybe teachers.
Yeah, we could tell you what you can expect from the teachers if you guys want. We guys have to start asking questions.
Maybe we can talk about our experience in gas first. So
you go first, Julia.
What was your favorite subject, Leon?
Me?
Honestly,
the reason why I'm so happy because for our content here in the PowerPoint, we really focused on the principles of marketing. I could honestly say my favorite is the 11 tips or the 11 principles that we were able to present to you guys. It really I like how the phrases are very simple and yet straightforward, so you would understand it even more. I like how in the lessons they were able to properly word it out for us to understand what concept or what principle it is about. So I found those very interesting. And I was able to use that, especially in our projects, because obviously, you guys, we're going to have marketing report projects. And it's really, really interesting. And then they'll be giving you, like what Sir Jay did. Remember, Julia, when he gave us a marketing report assignment where he gave Coca-Cola, we had to report that. And we had to apply the lessons that we learned from marketing, from PM. And then we have to correlate that with the brand of Coca-Cola. And it actually fits so well. It's just amazing. But yeah, how about you?
Agree. Also, we have a question. He asked, do you guys have examples of when you use the gas lessons outside of school activities? So personally, I don't have a life outside of school. I don't legit, but I use everything, not everything, but a lot of what I learned in gas in my school activities. So in even poster making, I'm okay, I can't just put a bunch of information. That's boring. I need to the simple message one, the repeating it. I like that one because okay, title, something small, and then put little details. Also, just group projects. This is honestly the best example. The expo, most of what we learned in gas, we really applied as much as possible.
Or the production specifically. Do you know the overall concept of the teasers or building awareness? Building awareness is we've mentioned how the people do not know what it really is about. And let's be honest, when we released MIIS production, most people were like, okay, what is that? We're not going to follow it. So we had to introduce the school first and then the DP blast because usually when you see a lot of those on like example Facebook, it's like you're interested, what is that? So like it just makes you more aware on what the concept is and its relevance and stuff. So you could actually use it. Also me, Julia, same answer. I don't really have a life outside of school. So whenever I use the concepts I was able to learn from Gas, it's more on the projects. And honestly use it. Genuinely, you guys, like it's actually really fun,
But
believe
also,
me.
I
If
feel
you're
like we can use it in our like future stuff because like in OM we learn about like Gantt charts and load charts, and they're actually surprises. Like these are things we can actually use. Yeah. So we
it's
have the
just
next
difficult, but treated as fun.
story.
Treated as fun also. I mean,
Mm.
for me, Julia, I mean, Gas helped me guide to the course that I wanted to take, which is
Yeah. Right.
marketing in college. So I think that would help you guys too if you guys don't have any courses yet. But like I've mentioned, Gas will open to you up in different fields. You'll also in grade 12. Somebody asked, what is the Gas experience like in grade 12, Julia? So what is your experience in grade 12?
Um. At first it was really frustrating. I won't say why, but it was. But
Yeah.
it's it's fun because we have a lot more subjects with the Humes class. So then it's a lot more fun. We have a more topics because I
Yes.
think in grade 11 it's just OM,
Yeah, just
but in
more of the
grade 12 we
marketing.
have a
Yeah.
lot. We have a lot of subjects. It's a
And then
lot.
yeah, and then for grade 12, you guys will also learn social media. They'll go in
Yeah.
depth with that, like the analytics, the algorithm, and then you guys were going to watch like super fun documentaries. Like in fairness, because we have been under the class of Sir J, right, Julia, for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sir J is actually such a good teacher. Like he makes the lessons
Yes.
interesting, like whatever with his enthusiasm, when you could hear the passion whenever he speaks.
He
Sometimes you
makes
could,
you think.
it makes you
Like
think, you know.
really.
It's very interesting. Okay, somebody asked, since ABM and gas are quite similar, is there a difference since it talks about business and marketing?
So in gas, it's not we don't only share subjects with ABN. We also have Hume. So we have politics, we have culminating activity, we have um, trends and media,
Yes, yes.
we have community development. So
Development.
there are a lot of other subjects.
No, for that question, I actually can answer that because in grade 11, ABM and gas will be combined for the first quarter. Obviously, the grade 11 knows that already because obviously the fields that they're tackling is quite similar. But I think the difference of ABM, there's math also. There's math, accounting. I think like we also have ABM students here, but yeah, we get combined. And then for grade 12, that's where we got to get combined with ABM as well for principles of marketing. And then we also get combined with Hume. So like I like how gas just expands your
Yeah.
options in different
We also don't
fields.
have math. So
We don't have math, guys.
yeah,
So that's a
besides that
good.
one subject that we all share. But in our strand subject we don't have math. So it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so is that the only questions you guys have? Come on, let's be cooperative here. Okay, let's ask our classmates, Julia. Gabby, do you have any questions?
Yeah, busy.
Reyes, do you have any questions? Wala. Okay, guys, I hope you guys somewhat just make it found it interesting the things that we were able to share. The overall goal of the presentation was just to highlight the lessons that we were able to pick up from for the past 2 years. We wanted to give you guys an idea what gas will bring up to the table because especially for the lower grades, it's unfamiliar but in like what the strands are containing. So I wanted that to be the purpose of our presentation to give you guys an idea. And even for the grade 11, you guys already have an idea from grade 11, but now you also have a somewhat idea what grade 12 will be. It's going to be so much more fun, right, Julia? For me, grade 12 gas is much more fun,
Oh yeah.
especially marketing is
Oh,
more interesting. So
Gus asked, is it fun at gas? Yes,
it is. You know,
it,
it's so
it
sad because
genuinely is.
it's so
Like,
sad because the
yeah,
physical classes we got to do so much games, and I feel bad for the grade 11 now that it's all online.
yeah.
But what was that game when we were playing the bomb thing?
Yeah, in grade 11, our projects were so fun because we did the bomb, we defusing the bomb, and we also did this report on like how to survive in a zombie apocalypse or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, we
Yeah,
did that one time because like Sir J gave us a prompt how we were grouped in people and you have to come up with a not a marketing report, like an organizational chart and report on how you guys could survive from a zombie
yeah.
apocalypse. And then our shelter was MI school. So it's going to be so hard, but it's super fun. And we got to play board games too before.
Oh yeah,
I got to play board games too, so that was super fun.
it was
It
fun.
was it was about like investigation and murder. Up to this day, it's actually it's memorable.
Do you guys have any more questions? Maybe what workload is like?
Keep talking
Anything?
about keep talking and nobody explodes. I think that's the game. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
game.
I
That's the
think so.
call. So yeah, that was a really really fun game. I failed at that. Julia passed. So
Yeah,
nice
I
one.
was the bomb diffuser because I didn't want to look at the papers.
Yeah, me too. I was a bomb
Yeah,
diffuser, but I bombed the whole school sadly.
we played that last time. Oh,
Oh,
so we
for
did do it.
yeah, for ano to, for ABM ata.
I
Yeah,
think we
so
did it on Sir J's laptop.
yeah. So you guys can just ask questions. If you guys don't want, just email us. We did it for OM. Yeah. Wait, for grade 11, I actually wanted to ask you guys, how was your experience so far with gas? Is there any gas grade 11 students here? Please
We,
like do this.
all the grade 11s here are gas.
Yeah, they're obviously all
Yeah,
gas. So like, I wanted to ask you, how is it so far? You can type it in the chat box. You can unmute your mic.
how's
You
Sir
can be.
J?
It's all right. Wait, how's Sir J? How's Sir J for you guys? We would like to know your experiences with Sir J. It's good.
He's a
But
lot more
yes,
interesting in PM.
PM,
So
yeah. But
yeah,
also, even Sir mentioned that how like you guys are gonna have so much more fun in grade 12
yeah.
because it focuses on marketing. Streamer, yeah. Honestly, chiller in OM than in Entrep.
Oh
That's
yeah,
actually true. Julia, I
for
could
sure.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
He's a streamer. Yes, he is. He really knows enough about business, about streaming, about podcasts. So yeah. So yeah, we have time to tackle a little bit of more questions and then we can make you guys watch a video. It's an intermission video before we actually go back to the plenary. So you guys can be comfortable here. How many people do we have, Julia, here? Oh, we have a lot.
30. So what's
Okay.
the workload in grade 12 like? Uh, okay, because
Ah,
right now, since we're an online setting, everyone is putting all their projects into one thing. So most of our subjects all have one project. So last quarter it was the MIS productions, all the plays and stuff, and then now it's this expo. But for the CSUs, oh, PM is hard. The CSUs for PM are kind of hard because um Sir Jay knows exactly what he wants to see.
yeah. He
It's
has his
so hard to
standards.
figure it out. Yeah.
Or
And
actually not just CFUs. I think Sir J's strategy in grade 12 is more on the participation. So like
yeah,
my tips for you guys is you have to always take notes. Like even though the PowerPoint will be posted, just take notes because after the second class, he'll be asking you guys questions and we'll be calling you. So like for me, it's nakakakilig if you get the right answer, if it's coming from Sir J. Because Sir J, sometimes you can't get the right answer, but he points it out once you do. So you always have to take notes. It's more of the participation. It's more of when you answer his questions on class, recitation points.
also, I don't know if Sir Jay's gonna, if he's still gonna be a teacher next year. Maybe he is. But another tip is to always take down notes on like his instructions because he always forgets to post the instructions,
Yeah.
and it's always so confusing. I never understand what he wants. So take them down.
Or the
Take
key is to
notes.
understand, you know, I know it's so cliche, but you have to understand the lessons. I don't think memorization will do you super well. So you really have to listen in. You really have to understand what this concept is, or what's this idea, what's this theory. You really, really have to understand that. Because now,
OM is
especially
a lot
in the
of
online setup, essays.
yeah. OM is a lot of memorization. Like we apply it sometimes in a couple activities, but it's mostly memorization. And then for PM, it's a lot of applying all the concepts. So
Yeah.
all the quizzes and stuff, it's always okay. Here's this product. How are you gonna promote it? It's very much like that. Most of his activities are like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we have so far.
Before you go, please make sure to answer the feedback form that is located down below on the description. Aside from that, we would like to thank our sponsors as well, White Breeze Palawan Hotel, Food Talk Supermart, and the Regalado family for their help. Once again, thank you for your participation. Signing out, Batch of 2021.